name is Mallory LaPlante, and I'm the Assistant Director within the Office of Orientation and Special Programs here at UA. And I'm extremely proud and honored to be able to introduce Samuel Shallenberger. Samuel, I met him a little over a year ago when I interviewed for my position, and now through my role, I've been able to supervise him as a student coordinator of orientation and recruitment events. And now we created a position for him as the undergraduate assistant in the Office of Orientation and Special Programs. I think that just shows Samuel's respected work ethic and his just creative abilities that he has. That's why we wanted to continue having him in our office, and just the role that he plays with our student leaders. And so last year, Samuel came to me with a genuine interest in continuing his studies in higher education. He wanted to, what was it like to be a student affairs professional and work within higher education? And that filled my heart to know that he had that interest, because he definitely has the potential to be a super impactful professional within this career field. His passion for student leaders and their growth, his innate ability to bring extremely creative and innovative ideas to the table, and his ability to speak publicly with large audiences while engaging them with interactive topics. He is more than ready for his graduate school experience and to be able to have an impact on the future of higher education. And so I'm excited to hear him talk about re-engineering the college experience.
If I could enter every single room that way, that would be really awesome, and I'm going to need you guys to follow me around, so thank you. I am so excited to be speaking with each of you today, and I wanted to give a TED Talk for so long. It is like SNL, but for nerds, and occasionally Republicans are allowed to appear. Beyond that, I am very excited to discuss with each of you today that it is time to reverse engineer our college experience. And I am Samuel Shallenberger, as Mallory said, and I'm a senior here at the Capstone. But I wanted to get you to know me a little bit better through a few fun facts about myself, because I just think that, frankly, it's better to look at someone's life that way. Who am I? That's a deep existential question that I will not be answering with these. However, here we go. Number one. I graduated high school with a class of 33 people. I was with these same 33 people at the same school for 14 years. It was like prison, but with worse educational opportunities. Number two, I went on 2 dates, count them 1, 2, with a man who then released a mixtape that I inspired, and I know this because he told me so. And as of last week, it is officially available for streaming on all music platforms that you enjoy. I will not be telling you his name or the title of this mixtape, but if you're really curious, then find me afterwards. In late 2007, at what I can only assume was a Country Music Association Illuminati induction, Taylor Swift, Carrie Underwood, and Kelly Pickler attended a Nashville Predators hockey game. I also attended this hockey game and rode on the elevator with them. However, I was 9 and ugly and scared. And so I did not talk to them, and I kick myself every day because of it. And finally, I am a proud member of the Avanti family. We are the orientation team that shakes their shakers in your face at 6 a.m. when you really don't want us to, but we just have too much fun. And they're here supporting me tonight, so I'm so excited to talk about that experience and how it has actually resulted in me being in front of you today discussing this very topic of reverse engineering our college experiences. So there's a few key areas that I want to touch on with this talk, and it's just areas that I have seen myself go wrong, or where students tend to go wrong to no fault of their own, but simply as a product of this university culture. So a few of those areas would be career tunnel vision. Focusing so much on what you know you've always wanted to be that you might just miss out on exactly what you're supposed to be doing. Misidentification of our passions. You're so good at so many things. You're so talented, you have all these skills, and you're just not positive how to realize them. And then finally, pleasing the important people in our lives. These are people that care about you, but ultimately this is your life, and you cannot live in fear of letting these people down at the hand of your own failures. So I'm going to begin this by discussing a few stories of those important people who are in my life. And I will begin with Devin. Look at those dimples. Is that not the cutest face you've ever seen? Devin cares about people possibly more than anyone that I've ever met. And from a very young age, Devin was positive that he he was going to be a nurse. He didn't necessarily know his ABCs, but he was going to be a nurse. And then he went in middle school, and he was going to be a nurse. High school, same deal. College, same deal. Entered Capstone College of Nursing, was killing it, meeting all the nurses, and then all of a sudden woke up one day and realized he was not going to be a nurse, and that's terrifying. All of his life, this is what he thought he was going to do. He enjoyed helping people, and he associated that with nursing. And on a college campus, it can be really difficult to switch course like that, because whether they need to or not, quite often, professors, faculty members, even your own peers can negatively reinforce this whole career tunnel vision by patting you on the back at age 18 and letting you know that it is absolutely amazing that when you're barely out of high school, you know exactly what you want to do with your life. And then you're so scared to tell them, actually, I don't. I'm sorry, I don't really know how to go about this. And it creates this fear that just doesn't need to be there. And so Devin, through several different interactions in his engagement on campus, his experience with people, his conversations with mentors, with his peers, his friends, even his parents, he was able to tap into the resources that this college offered him and discover a new way to help people. And he is now the most recently elected SGA senator in our Student Government Association. He is representing his new home, which is the School of Social Work, and he is on the pre-law track as a sophomore. And he's figured out where he can take that passion for helping people and avoid that career tunnel vision. He wants to be a family attorney. He wants to work in those really delicate situations of custody fights and possibly divorces, and he wants to make sure that those are tended to by someone who understands and really cares, and Devin is that person, but he never would have gotten to that conclusion without looking outside of that tunnel vision. Next up, I would like to discuss another one of my dear friends. This is Hannah. Hannah is one of the smartest people that I have ever interacted with in my entire life. And again, extremely compassionate and a huge heart. She only has one flaw, and that is that she likes math. But that's okay, because like everyone needs an Achilles heel, and this is hers, and like I'm fine with that, and we forgive each other, and it's all good. But she likes math, which is, you know. And so she is so skilled in mathematics. She enjoys it. One time, we were sitting on the couch, and I was watching Gossip Girl, and I looked over to her, and I said, "Do you have any homework?" And she said, "No." And I said, "What are you doing?" And she said, "Math." And I threw up a little bit in my mouth, but like, it's okay. But Hannah has this giant heart and all of these amazing skill sets and all of this passion, but she just wasn't quite sure where to focus it at first. And it's taken 2.5 years before this amazing future kind of came to her, and she found it herself. She started here at UA, and she was pre-med. She was going to be a doctor and like take people's blood or something. I don't really know what doctors do. And she was going to do it very well because she's very smart, and she was going to make a wonderful doctor, but she just wasn't on the right path, and she wasn't really sure why it didn't feel right, and so she tried something else. She moved over to our College of Communication, which is a world-renowned institution, but it did not provide that quantitative skill that Hannah was looking to challenge herself with. Because, again, she likes math, it's wrong, but it's what she likes. And so she needed it in her challenges that she faced on a daily basis. And finally, she found herself in the Culver House College of Business, where she's now earning both her bachelor's and her master's. Like I might have mentioned a couple times, she's like really smart. And so when she's done with that, she is going to finally tackle this challenge that she has kind of been working towards her entire collegiate career without necessarily knowing it. And that is applying those skills and applying those passions and those talents towards urban development. But she has all of that brain smarts, but she has the heart too. And so she does not want to be working on gentrification. Rather, she's focusing her efforts on revitalization so that the people in these areas that she is hoping to help are not displaced, that the social networks that exist are only enhanced and not detracted from, and that these communities remain diverse and benefit from each other with more opportunities present than there were originally. And so Hannah has taken this heart and this amazing, beautiful brain, and she has pieced it together. And yeah, there were a few bumps along the road, and we were there for each other for them. And she didn't necessarily want to be a doctor. She didn't necessarily want to be in PR, but she found her way. And again, that was through the experiences that she had had, including going on what I believe is a world record for UA's most Beyond Bama trips that they have ever seen. She has been to more areas and service projects and helped people than like literally anyone in the history of the world, and she's like 4 years old. And so like she is going to do such amazing things. It wasn't clear at first, and she found where her passions lie, but again, that was through reaching out and talking to her professors, talking to her mentors, talking to her friends, saying, what do you see me doing? And eventually she found this amazing path. Next. Yes, see, yeah, that's the thing that she did. Yeah. Finally, I would like to talk about one of my absolutely favorite students. That's me. So, as I may have mentioned beforehand, my name is Samuel. That's me in the cornfield. I don't know why I'm there. And I am facing my final challenge of where I really went wrong, which was trying to please the important people in my life. And this is something that I've struggled with for a very long time, whether just in terms of my identity, my placement in an environment. I've always been very insecure about this, and I really just want to make people happy. When I met one of my absolute best friends for the first time, we were at a coffee shop, and someone walked by wearing a t-shirt that I also owned, and he pointed at it and said, "That's the ugliest thing I've ever seen in my entire life." And not only did I not tell him for a year that I owned that same shirt, I threw it away. It's gone. I really like the shirt, but I was not about to do something that would not please him, especially when I first met him, because it's just a very deep-rooted insecurity of mine. And it's present in some college students who are high-achieving or just high goals. They have these aspirations, they want to do these amazing things, but like, they don't want to make anybody upset. And so they really are scared of doing what they want to do. And so for all of my high school career, I was told that I belonged in the business field. My parents were like, "Oh my gosh, you're like an amazing businessman." And I was like, "Sure." And so many of my teachers told me that, "Oh, you belong in marketing. You don't just belong in business, you belong in marketing. That's where you belong because you love designing things and you love talking to people." And I was like, "Well, I'm sure not going to tell you no because that's not a thing that I do." So there I was as a marketing major. And I still am. I'm going to graduate with a degree in marketing. But as Valerie mentioned in that video, it's not that funny. It's my life, okay? It's been like a lot of crying over this. We'll talk later. You get the mixtape. As I went through this collegiate journey, I really battled this. And it took a lot of really hard conversations and a lot of crying like I'm going to do tonight because she laughed at me. But I got there. And I was able to talk to my parents and say, "Hey, I love you so much. I'm not going to be in the field of business, but I'll still get a business degree so that I can always go back on it." And I have now been able to finally finish the application process for grad schools for higher ed and student affairs. And this was the first time that I was actually really excited to wake up in the morning and get out of bed. Frankly, I thought that that was a phrase that people made up to make them feel better about themselves because like I wasn't feeling it. And then, as a student coordinator for our Avanti team, that Avanti family that I got to lead and then got to lead the leaders of, I felt that for the very first time. I was excited about what I was doing, and I realized that it was actually a possibility for a career field and a path that I could take. And I never thought that that was possible because I always just sort of assumed that I would be doing what people told me I would be good at or that they wanted me to do because that's where my fulfillment lied. And that was just wrong. And it took a lot to kind of break out of that. And again, talking to those mentors, talking to those professors. I've said this a few times, but there's a recurring theme here. Reaching out to those people, hearing other people's opinions, but not basing all of my self-worth in them. And that was very difficult, but eventually we got there, and I'm here. Hello, everyone. Yes. What do we do from here? So there are a few takeaways that I want you to walk out of tonight with. The first being that you should reflect on the experiences that you've had as a college student. Some of you are graduating in 4 years, and some of you are graduating in like 8 seconds. So like, hold fast. This is a diverse group of students in front of me. So even if you're about to graduate, and somehow I've done a decent job, and you're like, well, maybe this isn't exactly what I want to do. You don't think that, it's okay. But if you do, you can reflect on where that passion was in college. And you're like, oh my gosh, I don't want to lose that. You absolutely don't have to. It can be a part of your career field, or it doesn't have to be at all. when you're working a job, the cool thing is that you're going to be spending a little bit less time on that job than you currently are on your academics in the classroom, out of the classroom, in extracurriculars, which means that you have this cool thing that we haven't had for the past 4 years, which is called free time. And so I want you to explore different areas that you can enhance your experience once you're outside of UA, and don't let those fulfilling engagements be exclusive to your college experience. Next up is utilizing the passion and mentors that you have on campus right now. We are a campus 40,000-ish strong, and we're in a bubble, which means that we can talk to each other so quickly. We can go to each other's offices, we can find each other's apartments, and this is an amazing opportunity that we won't necessarily have for very much longer. We are in this university environment where people want to help us grow. They want to help us identify what we're passionate about. That's what they're here to do. Utilize them. And then finally, again, explore what is outside of the workforce. So even if you're looking and you're saying, the career that I'm heading towards actually isn't what fulfills me, it isn't what I'm excited to do when I want to get out of bed in the morning, it's not too late to change gears. And even if you're still doing something that you love, but you're not necessarily getting all of that fulfillment, your workplace, your job, your career is not the only place where that is found. So really utilize those extracurricular times, utilize those hobbies, volunteer if that's what really gets you going. Like, the options are available. And also, I want you to know that if you're about to graduate and you're still majoring in the thing that you were majoring in on day one, I am not telling you that that is a bad thing, because frankly, I'm very jealous of you, and that is amazing. But just make sure that the things that you're passionate about right now, the things that are fulfilling you as a young college student, are going to be accessible to you beyond this experience. And so whether you're looking at Devin's story and you're looking outside of that tunnel that you've been so focused on, or you're looking at Hannah and you're finally finding what those skills apply to in your career, or you're looking at me and you're finally saying that you're gonna do what you wanna do, go for it. Thank you.